Also on the board, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Trump envoy Steve Witkoff, Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, and the head of the World Bank. The leaders of Turkey, Argentina, and Egypt have also been invited. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office is expressing some outrage because it's tried to stop Turkey from having any role in Gaza's future. His office says the announcement regarding the composition of the Gaza Executive Board, which is subordinate to the Board of Peace, was not coordinated with Israel and runs contrary to its policy. Netanyahu has instructed Israel's Foreign Affairs Minister to contact the U.S. Secretary of State on the matter. With me now is retired Major General David Fraser, CTV military analyst. Welcome, Major General.
Renee, good to be with you.
So first, your thoughts on Trump's Board of Peace and on Carney's acceptance of the invitation to join.
Well, the Board of Peace is interesting. It's mainly Americans, no women, nobody from Palestine. So it really does represent the inner circle of what Trump believes are important. The fact that, there's already a bit of friction between the United States and Israel, more indications that, lots of work's going to have to be done on this. And it's not just one board. There's at least 4 different levels here. So there's the devil's in the detail, and it sounds like, the United States, led by President Trump, is going to run this from the White House in Washington. So that in itself will be interesting to see what happens.
Right. Can an international board realistically help maintain a ceasefire, or is that unlikely?
Well, I think, without, the fact that Egypt is part of it is good, but we're going to need to get, some of the other regional players involved because, about from a stability point of view, and those regional players have to be acceptable to Israel. And the most important thing is the actual construction, what happens there, because it's going to take hundreds of billions of dollars to rebuild this area. The membership is interesting, but it may not be the right people right now. But the fact that Canada is involved is really significant.
Tell us about the significance of Canada's involvement.
Well, I think, it's interesting from a couple of perspectives. I mean, there is the normal people who are there, Marco Rubio, Jared Kushner, Witkoff, they're there. But, it's Egypt, it's understandable why they're there. But the fact that, Tony Blair, we've been hearing for some time, and he's kind of a lightning rod. Either you like him or you don't. But I think the fact is that Carney is there is indicative of a couple of things. It sounds to me like, there is a good deal of respect between Trump and Carney. And notwithstanding all the bluster that what Trump has said about us and our trade, I think the fact that he's included Carney is a really good news story for Canada. And I think it actually bodes well for probably some interesting discussions with our trade talks. And also when I look at, how Trump, commented on our recent prime minister's trip coming back from China, I think our prime minister is playing it really well right now vis-a-vis, Donald Trump.
Yes. What does this invitation really ultimately say about Canada's role in the conflict going forward?
Well, I think what it means is, for the reconstruction and bringing people together, we still have a lot of international credibility with our prime minister that, we are now included in this discussion about diplomacy and investment. And, and this is where Canada can play a real big role is on the rebuilding. And we've talked about this before. And I think it's being verified because, President Trump has invited our prime minister to be part of this. Not everybody got invited. Prime Minister Starmer is invited, but not a lot of nations. And so the fact that Canada is part of that is indicative. We still have world standing when it comes to peace and security.
All right, sir. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time.
Renee, always thank you.
That is retired Major General David Fraser, CTV military analyst.